Hello Avengers, it's me, Svenny McG. I'm very excited about today's video. We're going to be discussing single pack multiplayer games from the Game Boy Advance. All of this stemmed from, I was looking into download play games for the 3DS and DS because I love that feature and I want to talk about it in a future video. And then I found out more about how this kind of originated here, back on the Game Boy Advance. See, of course, the Game Boy had multiplayer, but always required 2 copies of the game, as did the Game Boy Color afterwards. Game Boy Advance, a lot of games do require more than 1 copy of the game, but there are some, such as Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Advance 4, that shows right on the box. Link it up, 1 game pack, 4 players. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. When looking for games like this, you need to find this feature on there. See, on the back, it's going to say games require a Game Link cable, but unfortunately, you cannot go with that alone because, like I said, some require more than 1 copy of the game. A game here, such as River City Ransom, where it says on the back here, Game Boy Link cable, but it does say here, multiplayer games require 1 game pack per player. You also see the same notice here on Dogs 2. Multiplayer games require 1 game pack per player. And the same such instruction here on Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, where in addition to the Game Link cable, it also will use the wireless adapter. We'll talk about that hopefully in a future video. But again, the text here reading, multiplayer games require 1 game pack per player. And to stress my point, the problem is a game such as this, The Incredible Hulk, shows Game Link cable and multiplayer action. However, it does not say on here that you do require a 2nd game pack, and for this one you do, and I'll tell you, not really worth it. Again, show you that in a future video. So let's circle back to the core of the video and let's check it out. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need a Game Link cable, but of course these generally are only connecting 2 consoles. A lot of them have this output though, and that's how we're going to basically daisy chain to the next one, to the next one. But let's go through that process. I do not own an actual first-party Nintendo version of a Game Link cable, but in this case I do have an Interact one built the same. What you're going to look for is the thin one here is always going to go in player 1. The wider one here goes in player 2. Important to know that, and you'll see why. It does identify it as first player, second player, and that will make a difference because first player is going to be the one to always steer the game control because it's going to be the one with the game pack. Here's another version of those Interact cables, and again, this one actually shows 1 player, 2 player embossed right on the cables themselves. So let's do that. We're going to put player 1 into the first one here. The wide cable here is going to go into player 2. These 2 are connected. When using any of these cables here too, you want to make sure you're always set to GBA, not GBC or GB, Game Boy Color or Game Boy. It just reads the data differently. Trust me, you're going to want it on GBA when using Game Boy Advance consoles. All right, so here's another one. This one doesn't have any description on it, but again, the thin one's going to be player 1, wide one player 2. Check this out. I cannot even insert player 2 into here. The molding will not accept it because it's too wide. Again, good indicator. The thin one is always the lead and get the information from. So I'm going to slide that in. It's got a nub on top. That inserts there, and now again this is going to go into player 2. Finally, we're going to daisy chain off of here again. Okay, and when connected, put it into our Game Boy Advance. So 1 to 2, from here to 3, from here to 4. Those cables will just sit off screen now. All right, so Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. Flick them all on. Okay, so you'll see the first game loads up. The rest of them are just waiting. They do not even show Nintendo because technically they've booted without running any programming. Here at the main, I can find multiplayer. This one's a 101, so I'm actually going to brighten it a bit. There we go. And I'm going to hit start. It says checking. And there we have it, 4 players. So we're going to hit start. And again, this one's steering everything because it's got the game pack in. So we're going to play Mario Bros. Yeah, the one even found on the original Atari 2600. So you can choose if you want that fireball looping through, what level you want, and if anybody deserves to have a couple extra coins or not. The point is you're going to play, you have to stay alive, but you also need to collect 5 coins in the game. When you've got your settings in, hit start, and now it's going to transmit. Now you heard all of these come alive. Now, maybe a little bit difficult to see, but all the characters are actually different colors. Mario, Luigi, a yellow one, and kind of a, I don't know what you'd call this one, blue? So the point is, again, we're playing old Mario Bros, and I'm trying not to get the screen a little bit too much glare here. But goodness knows if I turn this light off. Now you can hop on your... And of course you can hit the POW buttons here. Knock your buddies around. Oh, he got a coin. Oh, knocked him down. Player 3 has been eliminated. Uh-oh. Gonzo. Oh, player 2 wins. Didn't get a single coin. Took a W. Now it's worth noting you can play this with only 2 players, 3 players. You don't have to have all 4, but cool to know that you can go 4 players should you want to. Now in addition to that being found here on Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, you'll find that here on Super Mario Advance, again by going to multiplayer. You'll find Super Mario Bros. Battle. Same thing here for Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Where again, booting the game, go to Mario Bros. And you can choose multiplayer. And again, cascade it out 4 player if you want to. Sonic 3 Advance has a fun little multiplayer aspect. When you go down to battle, again, there is a multi-pack mode where there's different multiplayer games available when everybody has a game card themselves. In this case, we're going to go single pack mode. And it detects that there are 4 players currently connected. I love the look of the Chow's face. Okay, what you see here is we've got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. And we're going to play a game, Scramble for the Chow. There's the Chow. So now that Sonic has it, it's a matter of trying to keep him for the duration of the game. If someone goes and takes the Chow from you, Tails has it now. And you can see up here, it's flashing orange as Knuckles is the one with the Chow in hand. Now it's Amy's. And now it's Knuckles. They have these as well, some power-ups to help you try and perhaps hold on to the Chow a little bit longer. And you can even attack while you have the Chow. When time elapses, Knuckles gets the win. So it's just kind of a little game of keep away, but it is kind of unique and again, cool that it's hidden in the game here with single pack multiplayer. Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising has single pack multiplayer. It does also support multi-pack multiplayer, more than one cartridge, but we'll see what the option looks like with just a single. So we're going to go down here to link. And again, you can trade maps. If you've created maps and you want to trade them amongst other people with cartridges, cool. You can play multi-pack so you can open up a lot more of the game. But in single pack, we're going to be limited to just a few options, but there's still quite a few, and it's very, very incredible what they got going on here. Start when everyone's ready. Recognizes the 4. Okay, so we've got the orange star, the blue moon, the green earth, and the yellow comet armies. And you can choose one of these 5 different maps, and then it's game on. It's funny, there is a little bit of delay in the audio. You can hear it's actually coming out slower here by the time it gets to player 4. When you check this out, each player can only see their portion of the map. You cannot see the other people. Even if you choose to look around on the map, I have no idea where anybody actually is or what colors are where. That's very cool. I love that feature. So when you start to deploy, you'll start to open up areas around you. When you click end, then it goes to player 2. When you move close to another, that's when you'll start to open up that area of the map. And now, even on the original one, they see that character as well now. This last movement here actually showed the yellow tank. However, when you look over on the yellow screen, you still don't see that character there. So again, very cool because everybody has different stats and abilities. So this tank can actually see for a larger distance. Uh-oh, there's a red guy nearby. By now it's circled back to red's turn, and you can see red is surrounded. There's green, and there's yellow, and there's blue, all around. By moving there, you can see, uh-oh, we've really unlocked that the whole yellow army is here, ready to go. However, we might be ready to get them. Green's nearby as well. Didn't even know that guy was there, though. Fire! Green's lost someone. That's the obvious gist of this turn-based strategy game, and again, plays until it's last person standing, 5 different maps, a great feature for single pack multiplayer gaming. I can't wait to play this one with my kids, with my family later. I've got a couple of classic NES series games here. So first we got Donkey Kong. If I just go ahead and I go down here to 2-player game, that's going to be basically choosing 2 players on this single unit, meaning when I run around and try and get Donkey Kong, get hit by a barrel and pass, I now pass this unit to someone else's hands, and then they play on it. When their turn's done, they pass it back to me. In order to play on 2 consoles, we're going to hit the L and R buttons on top. Up here, and we're going to bring up the menu here because you can save high score, you can put it to sleep mode. And then here you can go to linked play. We're going to select that one. And what's going to happen when we have 4 connected here? It's going to say disconnect back to go to player 1. I'm going to click start. And now it's going to try and cascade it. First, it's going to say here linking error because there's too many. This is really only a 2-player game as originally intended on the original NES system. And you can see that it says here no more than 2 players can play. So player 1 gets a link in air, 2 link in air, no more than 2 can play, no more than 2 can play. Again, it says down here we can play using a single game pack. Now we're just stuck again in the loop. Literally, you cannot have any more than 2 connected. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect at this unit here. All right, enough of this. Let's just simplify. We've only got the 2 connected here. Okay, you are player 1. Press start. Cascading it over, connecting, And there you go. There's the 2 players. So now it's down to 2-player game A and B. When I click start, so now you're going to see the gameplay on both of them, but it is only player 1 controlling it. Player 2 cannot control the actions of player 1. However, when player 1 perishes, it's going to now make gameplay available on player 2. Again, can't use player 1 to move Mario, but I can use player 2. So, it's player 2's turn. And of course, this will continue on being second player's turn until they die, and then it goes back to player 1. Again, no different than playing on the original Nintendo Entertainment System back in the 80s. Classic NES Series Super Mario Bros. 2-player game still available here, but you have to pass the unit back and forth. If you want to enable it on 2 different consoles, again, we're going to go to Linked Play, Connecting, you are player 1, send it over, 2-player game. So again, Mario's here. Mario is not impacted by the actions of player 2's controller. When Mario dies, player 2 becomes active as Luigi. Wow! Classic NES series, Ice Climber. So only 1-player game prompt comes up, but again, linked play, connecting. Send the game over. Two-player game now populates. Now, different from Mario and from Donkey Kong, which were of course taking turns on those platforming adventures, here we actually have both players playing at the same time. And of course the goal here is to navigate to the top of the map without dying. And player 1 just kind of got taken for the ride there. Uh-oh. Get to the top. And now it's you playing the bonus. Player 2's just got to basically chill out and watch now. Again, a unique experience hidden all within the single pack of one game. Love seeing this. Finally here, Mario Kart Super Circuit. Probably fewer games embody multiplayer better than the Mario Kart series. This was so cool to see this one. Let's go ahead. I got to rehook all 4 of those back up. So again, we're going to go from single to multiplayer. You can even exchange ghosts if you have more than one game pack. Here I'm going to go multiplayer, and it's actually going to say, do you have multi-pack link? Because if you actually have more than this, you can actually play battle zones. You can choose different characters. This is going to be a little bit more limited with single pack link than the multiplayer. Still, a great option when you only have one copy of the game. But let's see. Everyone's here. Recognizes 4 systems. Now what you're going to be limited to here with one game is everybody's Yoshi. Yellow, blue, red, and green. We also have a limited number of tracks available to us, but again, we're playing on one single cartridge. I'd still say this is worth the buy-in because this gives you a lot of gameplay for one single game. So 4 players here, and player 1 gets to choose. You've got Mario Circuit 1, Donut Plains, Ghost Valley, and Bowser's Castle 1. Now we're going to send the data over. And here we go. If you played the Super Nintendo version of this, you should recognize this map. So again, how cool is this? You've got 4-person Mario Kart, and you're doing it all off of one single unit. Oh, ready? Lightning! Everybody got shrunk. Mario Kart, basically a staple of couch co-op multiplayer gaming. Been playing this guy back since the Super Nintendo. Of course, lots of Mario Kart tournaments now on the Switch. Been hosting. Simply can't get enough. It's amazing. So this was just an incredible feature to find available on the Game Boy Advance, knowing that this was here. I've done download play on the DS and of course on the 3DS. So special to see this all the way back on the Game Boy Advance. I was not aware that single pack multiplayer was as prevalent as it was on the Game Boy Advance. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video today and maybe learned something or learn something about some of these games as well. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing because guys, it always helps grow my channel. Until I see you guys again soon, please take care and be good to each other. Bye now.